Well, thank you for joining us today. I am here today with real estate agent Brenda Pieper from Roseville, California. And Brenda, say hello.
Hello.
So Brenda is an early adopter of Lolo gifts. And if you're watching this video, you're already familiar with the Lolo gift basic program. And you're already familiar with how one of the powerful parts of Lolo is you simply can sign up, register your people, and just have the emails go out on an automated basis, email and text, and you just check your engagement and live your life. Brenda, tell us what you've decided to do to add to that.
Yeah, I would say that especially through COVID, a lot of Lolo has replaced my in-person marketing budget. Right. Which means that at the price that thankfully you negotiated for us, I can really reach a lot of people through Lolo. I also see the power of the reciprocal feeling when someone's giving you something, you feel like you don't want to give something back.
Right.
So I've tried to blow it up into two portions. How can I build my business part, business affiliation part of my business, and how can I build my database? And I guess a third part would be, how can I also give to my clients as I did before?
Well, you know, it's funny that you mentioned that. One of the reasons I wanted to have you as a guest is that you did see this potential of increasing and building business to business relationships, as well as growing your database. And you're one of the first clients that I discussed Lolo with in depth that saw that potential and really came up with some immediate action steps to make it happen. And we are going to outline that here today. We'll jump to that in just a minute. With the added benefit of you used to do a lot of events. And as you said, welcome to COVID world. You were not able to do your events in the way that you typically did. And this has been a substitute that, to use Gary Keller's phrase from Mega Camp, you've blown it up so that you're getting the absolute most out of it. So why don't we jump straight in to going through, would you like to talk first about what you do to use Lolo to build your business relationships?
Right. So the great thing about it is that I get to meet new businesses. I also get to help bring new businesses to Lolo. So don't forget that you kind of have two sides of it, where you can bring someone new into the program as a business owner, which means they benefit as well. So each business owner that participates in Lolo, after I've met them, and we're going to go through the timeline, we meet them, we do a video with them to kind of introduce the Lolo clients to that business and what they do. And then I also give that business owner 10 spots in Lolo. So what I say, 10 gifts, 10 people that they can give Lolo to. So there's a database building part of the business part. Does that make sense? Yeah. Also, it's important that we give businesses reviews. So we're helping their business that way, asking them to review us as well, which is another business building technique. And then I'm using my own vendors. So each of my own vendors, you know, inspectors and those people really aren't good candidates for Lolo, but I give them each 10 spots as well. So it kind of brings them back to a loyalty of my business, even though they work with multiple agents. It gives them a loyalty back to mine.
Right. And you specify with them that, you know, you're essentially gifting them the ability to have 10 people, you know, added to this program. And then you just specify that it's not another real estate agent.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cruddy, wouldn't it?
A little incestuous, or
I
don't know the right word, but yeah, we don't want to do that.
Not nice.
And,
not nice.
Yeah, and they've been ecstatic and have used it as a little touch for them to some of their people in their VIP group.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's really an ingenious way for you to get in front of more people that are in the inner circle of the people that you're meeting through the business owner and through your vendors. So that to me was just a brilliant and fantastic way to use this to build your database and to reinforce those relationships.
Absolutely.
Something else you mentioned to me at one point when you were launching this is that you knew that in your database, there were several people that owned local businesses. So not only are you meeting new business owners,
Mhm.
but this has been an opportunity for you to introduce Lolo to the business owners that were already in your database.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they get to meet each other. So you'll see in the timeline too, at the end of the year, there'll be a business to business breakfast where all of my Lolo vendors and any other vendors of mine that are interested in Lolo can come and meet each
Great.
other and build business between themselves.
I think that's wonderful. And
Yeah,
everything
my
we
own
do-
little chamber of commerce.
Yeah, that's right. Your own to your own. I was just thinking from a financial standpoint, what you're looking at in terms of these 10 spots that you're giving to the business owner and the vendors, you're looking at probably less than $100 a month for all of that additional exposure.
Yeah, well, if you do the math, so I added up my biggest client event budgets.
Yes.
I'm going to say probably a total of between $6,000 and $8,000 a year.
Mhm.
So how many Lolo clients could that be that are getting something every single month for, let's say, $6,000 a year?
Like 500 to 600.
Right.
Yeah.
No, 1,000. It's a dollar something, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Bigger.
Let me
1,000.
get my calculator. Yeah, no, it's right. So as you're pointing out again, that financially it's going to be really a strong solution. When you look at your database and you think about, so that's all the business stuff. Can you share with me some of the ways that you're growing your database and or refining your database using your list of who you're putting into Lolo?
Absolutely. Well, I started off with a very exclusive group. I didn't know how Lolo was going to be received, how much it was going to be used. And I want to say, when you're inviting that initial group, keep in mind that it's very important to let them know that this is not a buy one, get one.
Right.
This is not, just a discount and the business loses. I think that something that's very, very important for people to know is that the business is reimbursed, because we all get coupons, right? And
Right.
big deal, I still have to spend money. So I did an initial inclusive group. That inclusive group, because they were small, I think my first one was under 100 people.
Mhm.
I gave them each 10 spots to invite, once again, non-realtor
Right.
friends to also receive Lolo. So that immediately tenfold, right, increases my
Yeah.
presence amongst just my database.
Right.
And then anytime someone redeems a gift, actually the redemption rates, the redemption rates are pretty low. So anytime someone redeems a gift, they get another 10 spots.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
How else? So you started with that small group, which, by the way, I think our contact Jessica at Lolo, I think they also recommend that. They're like, kind of get it out in waves rather than just putting 1,000 people at once and not knowing what the response is going to be or the engagement to build upon it. How did you decide where to build it from there?
Well, I mean, I know who responds. So I do want to say that first one that went out, part of the reason you want to keep it small to begin with was just managing the response.
Mhm.
So I've done a lot of pop buys. Pop buys was my first pivot, COVID pivot in how I did business. And the last one I did, I spent hours and money, and I think we put out 60 some, 70 some pop buys, got 2 or 3 thank yous. My first Lolo went out, and I think I counted 30 people that day. And I didn't realize what time it would hit. It hit at noon because it was bing, 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 bing. My phone, my emails. So you do want to keep it in a way that you can take the time to respond to all of those people.
Right.
And the first one was coffee. So I have a lot of coffee dates.
Yes.
Because people want to redeem them with me, which I think is really special.
I think it's very special too.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. So I had some other ideas too that I haven't yet implemented because we're not there to Christmas yet, but it could be a good holiday gift. You know,
Right.
gift Lolo to your friend. It could be a birthday gift to a friend to throw in Lolo as something in their birthday card. There's lots of ways to do it that way.
What have you done with, say, old seller leads or other people in your database? Have you added any of them in to see if you could sort of reinvigorate the relationship with them?
I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to be
Okay.
rotating them through. So every few months, I'm going to look who redeemed, who has never even opened an email. If they haven't even opened the email, then they may not be interested.
Right.
So, or they think it's spam. A few people wondered if it was spam. So I did get some calls with that, and that was quickly alleviated. So I think it would be, instead of just cutting them from the program, since that is kind of money not being used in a good way, I'm going to give them the opportunity to re-gift their gift.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So an actual re-gifting program,
Right.
a cool re-gifting program.
Yes, I like that. With your neighborhood. So tell everyone, in case they don't know, tell everyone, where is Roseville
Yes.
and what's your market area?
Yes, Roseville is right outside Sacramento. So I'm part of Placer County, which extends technically all the way up to Lake Tahoe, and then back down all the way to Sacramento. So I'm in that area.
And I know that you have a good geographic footprint, and particularly with listings, you have a wide knowledge of a lot of the areas surrounding Roseville. You also have a few neighborhoods that you really hone in on. Is there anyone in particular in your, say, quote unquote neighborhoods or farms that you work a lot? Are there any key people that you're adding into Lolo from those neighborhoods?
Well, I think it's important to add in people like HOA presidents, people that we all have someone we kind of call the mayor of the neighborhood. You know, we know who our fans are. It's important to add those people in as well, because then they can talk about it. They're going to think of you every single month. I included in my farm newsletter. Now, yeah. So to sign up for Lolo, they do need to go through a Google sign up sheet.
Nice.
And we
I didn't even know you were doing that. That's really cool.
And we do filter out realtors there.
Okay. So you're putting it in, because you have a newsletter that goes out to 1,000 people, and you're putting, hey, if you're interested in, supporting local business, or have you have it. And then that takes them to a Google form. And then that way you're getting their information and they're opting in for it.
Right.
Nice.
And I've also added in, so we used to do Santa in the park with cocoa and cookies. Well, COVID, that's not really working. Santa still comes through the neighborhood. Last year I did door hangers with a cocoa and a candy cane, and sorry, we can't all be together, but here's when Santa's coming. So I think this year I was thinking of putting it into a little present box and giving them a free entry to Lolo as a gift with their candy cane and cocoa. So
with your Santa
cocoa candy and gifts.
Was your Santa in the Pope Mobile driving through the neighborhood in a big bubble?
It's on a very tall fire truck with people way far away.
Oh, there you go. Not fire truck. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds good. Is there any other application that you can think of purely in looking at building that database?
20 social media groups.
Okay, give me an idea. Give me an example of that.
So if you have a neighborhood page, or or maybe you're in a part of a dog walking community, or a snow skiing community, or a cycling community,
Mini Cooper community.
Mini Cooper community. Yes. Yes. The new BMW community.
That's right.
Then you can advertise through those kind of things. That spreads you out even farther, right? Gets you farther and farther.
That's right. And with that, I'm assuming you would have that same approach of the Google link, so that people have to provide their information, and you can do a little screening, and then you've got everything good to go.
Yeah. Now keep in mind too, we're talking about 10 people here, 10 people there, spreading it out.
Right.
The other important thing about Lolo that people can't forget, they're like, oh, maybe I won't give out so many, maybe I won't pass it to as many different groups. Lolo is agent exclusive. So once someone, once someone is in my Lolo group, they can't be in anyone else's Lolo group. So if it's not big yet in your community, jump in and get as many people in as you possibly can, because later you can reduce it by the people that aren't really using it.
Right.
If they're not going to use it from you, they're probably not going to use it from someone else.
Yeah.
So, you know, honestly, start small enough to manage it, but don't be afraid to grow it quickly, because it's really good value for the money, and
I agree.
and
I agree.
exclusive.
And exclusivity is so rare in our industry and in our marketing. So that is one of the things I find very appealing about them as well.
Absolutely.
Another reason I wanted to invite you as a guest is time blocking. You know, time blocking is everything, right? And not just time blocking in a given day, but looking at the flow of each week and your month and your quarter. And one of the things that was really, really stood out to me in terms of your approach to treating this as a real listing lead source, or even buyer lead source, you see it as a lead source, is that you have set time frames for yourself throughout the month of exactly what you're doing in terms of following this program and getting the most out of it. Could you take a few minutes and share with everyone what are the little benchmarks and the reminders and the schedule that you've put in place for yourself to get the most out of this?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it has to be your own smart plan, right? You have to have it laid out in a plan, or the dates are going to slip by you pretty quickly, and the gift's going to pop out and no one's going to know what it is. So make sure that you give yourself time to prep ahead for it. So I set a reminder in the calendar and I'll get an email from Lolo telling me who the next vendor is going to be.
Right.
That's the most important thing, is to find out who that vendor is as soon as possible. And then you want to make it all about them. So you want to reach out to the vendor, you want to take them to lunch, find out more about their business, find out more about what they do, because this is why they're part of Lolo, right? They want exposure. Right. They want people to know who they are. So we do that. We take some photos, we tag them in their social media, tag their friends, get a lot of media exposure around the business. Yeah.
Brenda. So you're not going to take them to lunch and then vomit all about yourself all over them for the whole time?
This has nothing to do with me. This is not a real estate call.
You're going to make it all about them and come from curiosity and actually learn about this business owner. Fantastic. Yeah. All right, keep going.
Well, I'm going to have breakfast with them at the end of the year, so it'd be nice.
Right.
Yeah, it's the good thing. So we're going to do a little video. So the video is done ahead of time, but it's going to look like a surprise video.
Right.
So the day that Lolo comes out and hits your client's inbox, you're going to have a video of an interview with that business owner, what they do, what's exciting about them. And we really want people to redeem their gifts.
Yes.
That's the only way that Lolo is really helping the community, is if people are redeeming their gifts. So get the video done, get it all ready, and then the gift is delivered to your contacts. They're going to get an email or text. And that's a great day for that video to go out. Say, hey, you got your gift. Here's who you're going to visit this month.
And I think so. I was looking at one of them, and I think that you like to do the intro right out in front of the business, right? And say, hey, so excited. This is our featured business of the month. And you can see the business behind you. And then, as you said, you go inside as a surprise, you know, oh, you're the featured business. But it's all pre-recorded. So what I love about this from an efficiency standpoint is, even if, you know, you can get that done ahead of time and have it polished and ready to go. Mm-hmm. And yet it's going to appear as if you're there doing it in the moment.
True. And Lolo's going to hit whether you're busy that day or not.
That's right.
So having that video ready is vital.
Right.
It's vital.
And it really creates that sense of, come on out here and see this place.
Correct.
One thing I didn't mention at the top, you know, Lolo stands for Locals Supporting Locals. Did you know that?
I did, actually.
Oh,
I think it's great. I think it's great. And you know, we all say that we support local business, but how do we show it?
This is how you show it.
This is how you show it.
And then I believe you take that post with the video, and if I recall correctly, you tag the owner, the manager, you check in at the business, you know, and you put in employees, you put in if they're known for something or they have a tagline, right? So then that way, again, your video, making it a win-win.
Yeah.
Obviously, your video is getting out in front of everyone you know in your group, but it's also going to be in front of their inner circle.
Correct. Correct. And also having them show what the gift is.
Yeah,
You know, it's been a candle, it's been coffee, it's been, you know, a pint of beer. So it's kind of fun to say, you know, show actually what they're
what it
getting as a
is.
gift. Yeah.
Right. That's really excited.
Very
Really exciting. So then tell me what you do. So as you said, you do all that beforehand, and then the gifts delivered to the clients. What do you do in the, you know, the first week, second week, you know, after that gift has been delivered?
Yeah, so the first week I go through my Lolo dashboard and I get a hold of the people that didn't even open the email.
Okay.
Because you want to make sure it didn't go to spam. Maybe they're on vacation. It's just a way to reach out, really.
Right.
Did you get it? Did you wonder if it was spam? You know, did you wonder if it was legitimate? You know, maybe they're not seeing the videos. Maybe they're not seeing everything. It's just a way to reach them out. And then the second week, I start promoting my micro event. So the micro event's a really fun event where we call it micro because it's usually during the day when the business is open, and I will be there for a certain amount of time, and I invite as many people as possible to come and redeem their gift. So that gives me a client event every single month.
Right. At a very reasonable rate, at $1.10 per person.
Right. And I don't pay any extra for the event.
Right.
So, you know, and the business owners getting the business and getting reimbursed for the people that are there.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So I actually made a sign that says it's a Lolo micro event, and people coming in might wonder what that is. So it's like a little open house, right?
So you're getting to meet more.
Getting to meet more people.
More people.
And if they don't know me very well, you know, I'm inviting people in the database that might not even know who I am, if they're in my farm, if they're in whatever. So they need to know where to go when they come into the event. So the sign's kind of a dual purpose.
You know, the thing that's cool about that to me is the customers of a business that are already coming in inadvertently while you're there doing your micro event. They already know and love that business for the most part. They might be a first timer, but a lot of it's going to be the regulars coming in.
Sure.
How do you think they're going to feel when they see this real estate agent being that committed to the local community? They're doing a micro event at a place they love.
I agree. I agree.
It's going to, that is also going to build your database, because you are going to meet people that are just going to want to connect with someone like you, an agent like you, that is putting the effort, energy, and time into really being connected to the local business community.
Yeah. Yeah. We all have our favorite places, right? And we want other people to enjoy them as much as we do. So,
and they're going to talk about it. You know, one of the things I say as a coach, I'm like, okay, one of our goals is we want people talking about you when they are walking their dog or taking out their garbage cans and they see their neighbors in passing.
Yeah.
And we want them to be saying good things, right?
Yeah, that's the other thing.
Goal. Can you see how this can create that buzz?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, you're physically sitting there in the business, inviting people to come in and check it out.
Right. And then one other thing you mentioned, you're sending out reminders, because let's face it, we all get busy. I have seen, you know, things I want to do in town or places I want to go, or an open house, and then next thing you know, it's already passed and I forgot. Right?
Correct.
And what you're doing is you're sending out little nudges and little reminders to the people that received the gift to remind them to go and redeem. Right?
Correct. Yeah. So I have the 1 week after making sure they open. The second week I'm promoting the micro event. The third week is the micro event. The end of the month is an email or a text or a phone call reminding them to redeem their gift, make sure they don't lose out on their gift. And then you're already prompting for the next month. So it's just a weekly cycle, actually, every week.
It's great. Yeah. You know what you're doing every week.
Yeah.
And you time block it and you set it in your schedule. Again, it gives you the control that if you have a training event or family event, you can modify, and you know what Gary says, if you must erase, you must replace. So you can move what you're doing to adjust to your schedule. It just, you're really carrying this to a high level, and it's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to see what will come of this, both through relationships and also just through business, you know, over the course of this next year.
It's exciting.
You know what else is pretty cool? You have a plan, and you actually, after that month, you do some follow-up with the owner after the fact? What do you do with the owner after their month is over?
Yeah, after their month is I do a thank you note, include a business card, ask them for feedback and suggestions on how my events can go better. Make sure I give their business a review.
Yep.
Don't mind asking for a review for myself. It's a good way to build my reviews as well. And then I keep them part of my business group. So once again, they're invited to a breakfast at the end of the year where they can meet other businesses and just stay in touch. You know, like I said, be your own mini chamber of commerce.
Will you also add the business owner to
Oh,
your
yes.
list, right?
Yeah, the business
So
owner
then
gets a Lolo too. And
they can go and meet the next featured business of the month and receive the gift there.
and they have their 10 spots. So
That's
they get
right.
10 spots in Lolo as well.
Right. Is there anything that you have planned in terms of maybe at the 6-month mark, you know, anything you're going to do to evaluate the program or
Yeah,
look at what's working and what's not?
yeah, about every 3 months, go through and see if people have never even opened the email.
Mhm.
They might not have ever opened it. Make sure that they're, first of all, getting it, even though that call goes out earlier. Some people you just never reach. Doesn't mean that they don't care. It just might not be their gig.
Mhm.
You know, so once again, offer to them to regift their Lolo. And eventually they'll just get dropped. You know, we don't want to waste marketing dollars if it's not their gig. So
Right.
there's that. Then there's people that have opened but have never redeemed.
Mhm.
So one thing I found in the Sacramento area, you have an option of 4 different areas to gift someone something for Lolo. So Roseville is a market, but there's also 3 other towns that are a market. So I do adjust my clients based on which market they are. So
Okay.
they're not all
Good.
getting the exact same gift, which is a little challenge with the videos. However, it's very few people that are outside. So you want to make sure maybe you didn't put them up in the right market.
That's
Maybe
right.
you just shift their market. So it's a good time to follow up with that as well.
Right. And then, as you mentioned, you plan on having your end of year celebratory breakfast
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
future business owners.
I'm excited about that. Looking forward to that.
I am too.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that is going to be, as you said, you're creating your own small business network that is going to have strong connections and relations. I was thinking about that after the last time we spoke about this. And you know how it's fun to anchor the year in at least 2 places. So for example, a lot of people do a huge holiday mailing,
Mhm.
you know, either for December or January, to their whole database. Then they'll do it again at 4th of July. So you
Right.
kind of have that anchoring. And I was wondering, it's possible you might want to do something small in June or July. Maybe not as big as a breakfast, but you know, maybe you could even do something small then and have some other type of little connection.
Little micro event there. I
Mhm.
also considered reaching out to Jessica at Lolo and finding out, let's say it's the end of 2021, who are some new businesses that are coming in 22? And
Right.
maybe the event could be at one of their businesses.
Yes, that would be fantastic.
So that would be
That
a
is
way to
great idea.
welcome to the family kind of ahead of time and, you know, not overload one business.
Well, I want to thank you for sharing all of this with everyone. You know, this is where, and this was a theme that Gary had at Mega Camp. He's like, take what you're doing that's great, take what's strong, and then blow it up. And he doesn't mean blow it up destructively. He means like,
No,
what could you shake up and get even more? And I feel you've done an excellent job of doing that.
thank you.
You know, if anyone has questions, and I'm going to go ahead and put your contact information in here as well. If they would like to brainstorm with you or have any further questions, it's fine for them to reach out as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be
Absolutely.
really good.
Yeah. And
Well,
thank you, Bridget,
anything,
for reaching out to Lolo and getting all the details, getting us our pricing, getting
yeah,
us Jessica, right? We have our own person. So thank you for
we
doing
do,
that.
yeah.
Thank
And
you.
anyone who's watching this video, if you're interested in those rates and having that dedicated person, there's a link in the description below where you can reach out to me and you would be able to get those as well.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank
It's
you.
been great. It was fun to deep dive into it. Do you have any final thoughts or you feel like we covered it all pretty well?
Now just get in and do it. Don't try to
Right.
perfect it. Just get in and do it. If you do 1 or 2 of those things, you're going to notice a big difference.
A big difference, right? All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, this
Thank
is Brenda
you.
Pieper. I'm Bridget Ann Stuart, and we'll see you next time.